Yo, this is W2 YP Gang, YP Nation, YP Boxing, YBP MMA, and we just coming off one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in a title fight. Back and forth war between DRICUS du Plessis and Israel Adesanya. I wish I would have put out one of the videos that I usually put out because my prediction in my typology was DRICUS by sub. I just couldn't get to it. It was a lot of videos. I was just trying to enjoy the moment, enjoy the fight week. I was really excited for this whole, fight coming up. So I just couldn't really get to it, but great fight, man. It lived up to all the expectations. Sometimes you just gotta live in the moment, man. You just gotta really experience this, and this is a fight week, a fight that I'll never forget, man. I'll never forget. Like, no matter, even if it went to Izzy, man, like it was just electric seeing that fight, back and forth war. I don't know if I'll go over the entire card. Obviously we did see, so we saw the Hooker one. That was a big result. He was able to get that win, using the damage over control, of course. We saw the Rosenstrike masterclass, won all 3 rounds against Tuivasa. Weird scorecard about how we booth, but we move. And then Kai French getting that knockout over Steve Erceg, shocking result. And, you thought, CKB boys were able to get 2 big upsets. Could Izzy be the last guy? And no, man, DRICUS, the pressure, it was too much. I thought Izzy had some good moments. If I had to criticize his strategy, I would say maybe I think DRICUS just put him on his back foot. I just feel like the fight played out kind of how I saw, how I thought it would. It's just Izzy not fighting too well off the back foot. It just seemed like whoever was going forward was going to win the fight. And DRICUS was landing those big shots, and those proved to be this, the shots that really mattered. I had him up 3-0. I was kind of biased though. I think the first 2 rounds seemed pretty clear for DRICUS. I think give the 3rd round to Izzy, but he was in a pretty good spot, going to that 4th round. He put together a really good game plan. He was able to mix in the takedowns, but it wasn't perfect. He was able to adapt on the spot and, flip the script when he needed to. He didn't, even though Izzy landed more volume, he was able to win moments in the fight, and that was really huge for DRICUS in this fight. Super, it's and the thing is with DRICUS, this is the same DRICUS that we've seen, throughout. Do you see the little evolutions here and there? But I think people are now starting to be a little more open to his style is a lot better than we thought it was. I think people put limitations on his style because of how he looks, because of how he fights, because even me picking DRICUS, I had the thought in the back of my mind, Izzy could just go out there and spark him inside too, But at the same time, DRICUS could. He has the power. He has the grappling. He could embarrass Izzy as well. Sometimes with these fights, even with the Kai France and the Erceg fight, I think we forget, certain scenarios are possible. We kind of just skip ahead we make a lot of assumptions, this will happen and that will happen. But, hey, KKF just went out there and sparked Erceg, man. That was definitely a possibility. And what DRICUS did, man, I had him by sub. I thought he could get to that back and, get a submission. Because Izzy's never fought a grappler like that. Vettori didn't know what he was doing on that back, and Izzy hasn't made any crazy improvements. I saw some improvements to the takedown defense, but the submission defense, contrast what, the Izzy when he got into that back, and then Kulabau. Look at Kulabau fighting for everything to get out of that. I'm sure DRICUS has a tight squeeze, but the way shout out to Kulabau, man, that was a very good fight. I think DDP Izzy probably gonna get the fight of the night from from Dana White. The richer get richer, but that's another fight. Even the Hooker Gamrot fight was a very good fight, but Kulabau was fighting, trying to get out of that. I think Izzy just kind of accepted that. But it's a tight squeeze, man. It's a tight squeeze. I think anyone's tap into that. DRICUS is a very strong guy, but yeah, he just keeps coming forward. As far as who can beat him, I don't know. I pick him to beat pretty much everybody. The one guy, I have to watch more tape, but the one guy I can see causing him problems is Cannonier. I know that's kind of left field, but I think Cannonier has a really good style to stifle what DRICUS has in store, man. He's a really good fighter himself, or another power puncher, another guy who can go punch for punch with DRICUS, who's gone 5 rounds before, who can push the pace, who's pretty tough himself and can defensively grapple. I think that's a tough style matchup for DRICUS. And then obviously Strickland. I don't know, but me personally, I don't want to see a Strickland rematch because I just feel like Strickland had the perfect opportunity to really cement himself as that number one contender. And I selfishly want to see, like, if Hamzat beats Whitaker, here's the thing. Yeah, if Hamzat beats Whitaker, I don't want to see Strickland anywhere near Duplessis' fight. That's the fight, man. Hamzat, DRICUS, put it in Africa, put it anywhere, Vegas. It don't really matter. That's the one, you know? Now, if Whitaker wins, it gets a little interesting because do you run it back with... I mean, because in that case, Whitaker would be so deserving beating knocking out Ikram, and then, whatever performance he has against Hamzat, he has the better wins. He just didn't have the better performance against the champ. So it looks, I don't know. I think from a meritocracy standpoint, because I don't think you're selling that many more pay-per-views with Strickland. I know Strickland has a fan base, but Whitaker's pretty big too. Whitaker's pretty popular. I don't think you're selling that many more pay-per-views with picking Strickland or Whitaker. I mean, Hamzat's really the big name out of all this. So from a business standpoint, I don't really see, a need to edge it one or the other way. I think the Strickland fight's always there. You can always go to it. I think Whitaker's on his last hurrah, man. He said he's, he's pretty old. I don't know how old Strickland is, but I say you give Whitaker his last opportunity, to get that belt. And because he's been a company man, Strickland has been advertised as the guy to step in on short notice, to, fight all these guys, be active. And now for him to just say he doesn't want to fight Whitaker, that was kind of weird. That was just uncharacteristic. So I'm not saying punish him, but I don't think that's you shouldn't reward guys for sitting out. You should reward the guys who are stepping up and who are fighting. And in that case, I mean, I think Hamzat and what's the name? Hamzat and Whitaker are more deserving. Because what are we resting on? Because Whitaker already beat Costa, and then what does Strickland do? Strickland had a pretty lackluster performance against Costa. People weren't really happy, so he didn't make a statement in that fight. And then he is pretty much his claim to fame, not his claim to fame, but his claim to that title shot is that he had a close fight with the champ. You know who else had a close fight with the champ? Urseg, and he just got sparked out. So... But even if you were to win that fight, so many people, I mean, you could have given that title shot to anybody in the flyweight division. So it's not enough to just have a close fight with the champ. I think you gotta do work. What is he say? You gotta do work. But I'm so happy for DRICUS, man. He was very disrespected, going to this build up. People still disrespect his skills after this. There's gonna be people out there who are saying he's not that good. Blah, blah, blah. How is he doing this? I think people just got to be respectful and just give him his respect, man. My picks for main events have been spot on. I've been on the right side of all these picks, you know what I'm saying? So I think this is just the best result for the earth, bro. Seeing Izzy lose is just the best. No hating stuff, but bro, he was tripping, bro. This whole build up, talking crazy. It's just good to see him shut up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Be humble. That's what we need, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a humble Izzy, good Izzy, bro. This guy was talking mad crazy, and him crying. I think it's all poetic the way he was able to finish him, the way he was after just DRICUS bullied him, man. He bullied him and he eventually got the finish. So it's poetry in motion, man. I'm excited to see what DRICUS does, especially him going to Africa, seeing what he can do, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they tried to frame this this is a battle of Africa. I think Africa wins regardless, as long as we're having, if we can get a card actually in Africa, especially in South Africa. Anything, how do I say this? Anything that is going to Africa, I think is a win. You know what I'm saying? Because that just opens up so much doors for everyone there. If you're in another part of Africa, you can go to South Africa and train. Now that's an option. If they open up a PI there, you just open up so many doors. Now you don't have to necessarily leave to go to another country. You can just stay right there, and they could open up something in Nigeria. They could open up something in I don't know, Cameroon, Kenya, some other other countries that are growing. So it starts with South Africa, but it's just gonna eventually build, and as Africa starts to improve, economy, just get everything up, businesses, all that type of stuff. And I think bringing the UFC, I mean, when the UFC comes to town, it's big business. So if you can, gain that attention, grow the sport over there. You start, adding value to these countries and just bringing money over there. And much needed money, much needed attention, and it's beautiful. I think people are gonna. There's still gonna be those DDP haters maybe out there, maybe some Izzy haters as well. I think, and hey, I'm a proud Izzy hater, bro. But what I'll never do is, you gotta respect the man for what he's done. The greatness that he's what he's done in the sport. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Period. Not even middleweight, just greatest fighters. So as far as what I want to see next for DRICUS, man, I want to see the winner of Whitaker Strickland. I think the winner of Whitaker and Chimaev, especially if Chimaev wins that fight. I'd love for Chimaev to win so we can see that super fight right there. And then for Izzy, I'd love to see him move up. I think I know, and also honestly, but if Pereira is serious about this, if Pereira is so serious about moving down and fighting DDP, I'd love to see that too. I mean, I'd like it more if DDP moved up than Pereira moved down. But if he wants to move down, that's cool too. I mean, that's interesting storyline. I think DRICUS shouldn't even be worried about Pereira though. I think he should just keep trying to fight these guys, keep getting these wins, and then if the opportunity presents itself, it comes, because DRICUS is a huge 185er. He's a great fighter, and yeah, man. I mean, I think the UFC storyline, man, it's just, man, UFC just been amazing. It's been cooking, bro. Like, with Bilal winning, getting that upset. Oh my God, it's just been, if you're a fan, bro, man, this is the prime time to be a fan, bro. I'm telling you, it's amazing, bro. It's so good. It's so good. I can't wait for next fights coming up, man. We're gonna have Merab and O'Malley. Then we're gonna have we're gonna have Holloway and what's his name? Topuria. Oh my God, Jones Miocic. Yeah, it's cooking, but yeah. Oh, what did I say for Izzy? I said Izzy should move up. He should move up to 205. And I like a fight with Yuri. That's a fight I've always wanted to see. Two dynamic strikers. Izzy on paper should win, but he doesn't really have the power like a guy like Pereira. So maybe that fight could go a little longer. Maybe Rakic can find a KO. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Izzy would navigate that fight. I don't know if he even wants to move up. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with Izzy though. The problem with Izzy, right, is where do you even go from here for Izzy? I know he said he doesn't want to. He doesn't. He said he's not leaving. But I don't know. See, Izzy's such a champ, Respect him. He's always been in championship fights. Now that he can't say, there's no immediate rematch. Like, he got finished. Where do you even go from here? I don't know. I mean, the Hamza fight is done. I mean, you can't, because Hamza's fighting Whitaker. Maybe if Hamza loses, you do Izzy Hamza. I don't know. But if he wins, they're gonna shoot him up to the title shot. I just can't imagine Izzy in like a Imavov fight, just these meaningless fights. Some of these other guys, they'll do that, like Whitaker will fight Ikram. I can't imagine Adesanya fighting Ikram, and I don't think he'd even take a fight like that. He's just so big. I think, man, I don't know what Izzy will do. Is he gonna come back? Soon? Is he gonna take some time off? I don't know. I was honestly shocked that he didn't retire, because just look at there's not much options out there. I mean, I just, especially if he doesn't move up. If he doesn't move up, the options are bleak. And I don't necessarily advise him to move up necessarily. That's just something I'd like to see, because I think there's so much fun stylistic matchups, fun striker matchups that he could go after. And the king at the top of the mountain is Pereira. So that's always a fight that we wanted to see. I think that story's kind of played out. I think the time to do that was kind of past now. Now Izzy's, it don't make sense now, because now Izzy's the guy that's low and now Pereira's the guy on top. It just doesn't make sense. It made so much sense when Izzy was on top and now Pereira was coming up. Now that Izzy's on the bottom and he's trying to chase Pereira, it's like, it doesn't have the same mystique that it did, It was better when at least they were both champs, maybe we could come together. But I'll never be opposed to a fight like that, but especially at 205, it's such a tough fight. Everything, because Izzy's not a massive guy. I mean, yeah, even with the supposed muscle that he put on, he didn't look that massive in there compared to DRICUS. So now you look at the guys like Ankalaev, Pereira, Yuri, I don't know if I pick him to beat any of those guys. Even like Yuri, I'm not sure. He might get caught before, the end of the fight. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see what Izzy does, because at the end of the day, that guy's one of the biggest stars of the sport. How that guy moves, that guy could lose 5 times. You still want to see. He still has that mystique about him, bro. He's one of the top guys in the sport. And yeah, I want to see what the UFC decides to do with Izzy for sure, because he's still a big star. He's still a big name. There's no reason why you couldn't have him headline a fight in Africa. I think this is the perfect time to do something like that. You have him do a showcase fight. You have him fight like, I'm not really sure who he would fight, but I don't know, maybe Imavov in Africa. He's perfect for that because you could just do a fight night. You don't even have to be a pay-per-view. Yeah, so I think it's a lot of directions you could take. Or maybe Izzy could fight Jake Paul. And get knocked out. Yeah, nah, I'm trolling. Nah, he would genuinely get knocked out by Jake Paul. That's crazy, but nah, man. The story of the night is DRICUS. But it's very interesting to see. How is Adesanya gonna battle back from this, bro? Like, can he battle back from this? What is the point? What is Adesanya chasing at this point? Because Adesanya is this is a guy who's always been in championship fights. So what is he even looking to do now? Now that he's still fighting, just make money, just be in fun fights. I'd like to know who the name is, but yeah, man, I'm excited for Izzy's future. I'm excited for DDP's future. I'm excited for Kakar France. See what he does next. Great fight. That great knockout. I'm excited for Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's another guy who raised his stock, and I'd love to see. I think he did the UFC a huge favor. I think the UFC, Gamrot was kind of like a pest on their back they're trying to get rid of, and he got rid of him, so they don't got to worry about Gamrot anymore. Hooker did them a huge favor. Now you could do a Hooker Gaethje fight, you could do Hooker Poirier, you could do so many good fights now, and that opens up the doors, so. And then KKF, we got to see him in the title fight for sure. And then try to see who else, like big narrative change. I guess Tuivasa needs to fight Robelis. Book that fight. If Robelis knocks out Lane, you gotta I don't know how many fights he has on his contract, but that guy's on a huge losing streak. Feed him to another young star like Robelis to Spain. Have Robelis knock him out, and then send him on his way. And then for Rosenstrike, shit, I don't even know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what you do. Heavyweight's so cooked right now. I ain't gonna lie, because a lot of these guys have already fought each other. So, shit, maybe Rosenstrike versus. I don't know. I'd have to look. I might make a fights next video. I might not. I don't know. I want to rest on my wins. See the reaction from social media. Just relax, man. Just really live life, bro. Now that Izzy's cooked, bro. Bro. This is such a good day, bro. Shout out to DRICUS. Shout out to all the fights, bro. Most of all, bro, they put on a very good fight for the fans, bro. That's all we want to see, honestly. Win or lose, they put on an excellent fight. Because a lot of times with these type of fights, what ends up happening is when there's beef like that, they don't bring the fight. People are like kind of like copping Makayev. Even though I thought that fight got way too much slack. I thought it was a decent technical fight, but they didn't for the smoke that they were for all the stuff that they were talking, just being disrespectful, sucker punching people, choking people out, throwing stuff. They did not bring that to the fight at all, so. But DRICUS and Izzy definitely brought that to the fight. The fire was there, and they didn't have any altercations prior to the fight. It was just all energy, all stuff that was being said, disrespect thrown both ways, banter going back and forth. And they brought all that to the fight. They lived up to the hype. You rarely see that, and it's good to see, man. It's good to see, and I hope that continues for sure. This was one of the most excited events I think it's the most excited I've ever been for an event. It delivered 3-folds, 4-folds, bro. That's amazing fight night. Shout out to UFC, and and it took a while to get here. There's a world where we don't even get here. There's a world where Strickland beats DRICUS, split decision, and we don't even get this fight. So a lot of things had to fall into place. DRICUS obviously had to beat Whitaker. He had to become champ, and then he had to... No. He had to... Well, first of all, Izzy messed this whole thing up. You know, this guy lost to Strickland. We almost never even got this fight. That's another video for another day. But the fact that we're here, we finally got the fight, and it's settled, man. Who the king of Africa is, and his name is DRICUS. Still knocks du Plessis sub round 4. That's all I got for y'all today. Leave a like and review, subscribe. Peace out, most guys. You know what it is.